Alright guys, coming in. At the live store, you'll be able to join us in our physical shop in the Netherlands during our opening hours. You get to see live presentations of your favorite gear with me, your store manager, and you get to ask me questions in real time and get real-time answers back. At the live store, we're open every Wednesday at 5 PM local Amsterdam time, and when we're live, you get the best prices guaranteed on the products that we're showing. You can find out more at championhelmets.com/livestore. Hey guys, and welcome to the live store. I'm Chris, I'm the live store manager, and it's my job today to take you through these three helmets right in front of me, the Agv K1, the Shark Skwal 2, and the Hacc I-70. So I'll be talking a bit about them today, telling you a few things, and then it's up to you guys to ask some questions for me so we can have a chat about them, have a talk. So if you've got any questions, you want to know anything about these helmets or anything really, just leave it in the comments down below, and I'll answer them for you guys. So that's how it works, and remember, we are live every Wednesday at 5 PM local Amsterdam time on Facebook, but now also on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, guys, thanks for joining us today. I hope to see you again next week. And remember, you can always watch this back on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Plus, if you leave any comments after we've finished with the live store, after we've closed, don't worry, because I'll be answering them as well, guys. And if I miss any of your questions, I'll be trying my best to answer them as quick as I can after the live store is finished. Alright guys, so we're going to be open for about 30 minutes today. We have a lot to do, and remember as well, we have the Champions Wheel here. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably seen it. Some of you probably will remember it. It's a chance to win champion cash. So these values are all in euros, and that's going to be our in-store credit, which is champion cash. You can spend it on something like the Shark Skwal 2 here. Alright guys, so let's just jump right in. I think we'll first take a look at the Agv K1. So let me just grab that and put the Shark Skwal out of the way here and give ourselves a little bit more space, move this K1 a little bit. Yeah, I'll put it over here onto the laptop. So see if you guys are joining us. I should let you guys know as well. If you haven't got the Champions Wheel, then leave your questions. Just leave a question. I'll be picking someone else who's left a cool question, and they'll get a chance at the Champions Wheel. We'll do that a few times as well. So make sure you do that. See if you guys are here. Hey Christopher, how you doing? Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you leave a question as well to get a chance at the Champions Wheel. Alright, remember as well guys, we have the 10% discount on these three helmets as well. So it's 10% off the already discounted prices. So make sure you pick that up. That's going to be in the chat as well. Alright guys, let's get into it. So the K1 here, sports come racing helmet. At 180 euros, it's going to be very well in that entry level range. So it's going to be made out of polycarbonate, and it's going to weigh about 1,550 grams in the size of MS, which is what we weighed it at. So overall, not a too bad result. Obviously, lesser is best, especially when it comes to racing and sports helmets, but the K1 does do very well when it comes to coming at that lightweight. And despite being polycarbonate helmet, it's not particularly bulky, which is again another cool little bonus. The shell is, however, only available in 2 different sizes, so you might get caught out there if you're looking at something at the extreme kind of range. Let's have a look at the ventilation now. So for ventilation, we have 2 chin kind of vents, and you have to open them and close them. A little switch on the inside of the helmet, so you might be able to hear that. There we go. It's going to bring air straight into your chin, but also up onto the visor as well. Up top, we have the kind of classic Agv sports helmet layout with the 3 brow vents, individually opened and closed, and they're going to bring a lot of air onto the brow and the top of your head. And that air all has to escape somewhere, so it's going to come out the back here, actually not underneath the wing, but through the wing, so it's kind of an interesting way to do it. But yeah, so the ventilation is actually quite strong on the K1, like I say, what we expect from this kind of like more sporty helmet. Coming to the visor, first of all, you'll be able to notice that it is pin lock anti-fog lens prepared, but that is not in the box. That's something you're going to have to pick up extra. So that's about 20 or 30 euros to get a pin lock on its own. So do keep that in mind when you're looking at the K1. You do get a cracked C position though, which is pretty handy, pretty easy to use as well, just with this little, I guess, switch again. The visor is not bad, you know, gives you pretty good field of view, closes pretty well, and the seal as well is pretty good on the K1. Now let me just turn it upside down here. It's going to be an intermediate oval fit, and it's going to be prepared with the double D-rings. That's right, you can use double D. You have double D-rings on this, so you can take it to most tracks because you need double D-rings to go to track days and stuff like that. So people appreciate that, and the liner itself is going to be fairly comfortable. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be very good at wicking away sweat and water and keeping you fairly dry and fairly cool. So that's again what you want from a more racing sports orientated helmet. We do also have speaker cutouts, so you can pop some speakers onto this helmet if you want to. Now, with this helmet, we've covered quite a lot. You get some cool designs like this one here from Agv, and if I haven't mentioned it already, it's going to come in at 180 euros at the recommended retail price. Right, so let's take some questions now on the K1, I think. Let's have a look. You guys, make sure that you leave your questions in the chat as well. We're going to talk a little bit about the Agb K1. So we'll have a look here, see what we got. Let's see if you guys still saying hello. Still, I see you here. So a question from a George. What is a pin lock? Good question, George. Pin lock is an anti-fog lens. It's basically your best way to beat fog. So you put it onto these pins, it goes on the inside of the visor, kind of like hugs against it, and acts like a second layer and like a double pane of glass. So it means that temperatures will be regulated and you're not going to get any fogging or moisture on that pin lock. And that is how it works. So it's the best way to actually keep your visor from fogging up. So thanks for that. I see quite a big comment from John DeGraaf. Alright, John, that's a good question. I'll answer that one a little bit later on, perhaps. It's a bit more appropriate there. So something from Joshua. Can I go racing in the Agv K1? Yep. So it is a sports car racing helmet. So it is going to be really a good racing helmet overall, especially for that entry-level price. Always check though with your race organizers and stuff like that to make sure that they will accept the K1. When it comes down to it, it has the ECE rating, which is pretty well regarded. It's got the double D rings, so it has everything you typically need, though you can get some pretty strict organizers out there, so do keep that in mind. But yes, you can mostly go racing with the Agb K1. Thanks for that. I think what we'll do is we'll do a spin on the Champions Wheel with the questions that have come in. So guys, make sure you drop those questions in if you don't have a chance at the Champions Wheel. And just drop your questions in so we can have a talk about the helmets and anything like that. So let's pick someone out here. I have, let's see, I have, you know what, Brian Cross. Hi Chris, how are you? That's a great question, I like it, I'm good, thanks. I'll give you a chance at the Champions Wheel here. So Brian, good luck. I'll spin this, whatever it lands on is the amount of champion cash you'll get in euros, and we'll get that to you as quick as we can from someone from our team. So good luck, Brian. Let's give that a spin. Not too big of a spin because it takes forever. And coming to an end. Oh, there we go. 100 euros. Nice. 100 euros for champion cash. Congratulations, Brian. We'll get someone from Champion Helmets in contact with you soon from the support team, and then we'll get your details and we'll get that 100 euros to you as quick as we can so you can spend it on something like the K1 here if you like. Great result. Congratulations, Brian. So guys, remember, if you want to have a chance at the Champions Wheel, leave a comment in the chat today. And remember, guys, we are also going to be live next week on Wednesday at 5 p.m. So make sure you join us again. We'll be going through something else. I'll tell you what that topic is later on towards the end of the live store today. Brian, I see that you've just left a question as well. Chris, I'm looking for a helmet on the track. Which one do you think is better, the Agb or the HJC? Well, Brian, when it comes to the track, We haven't spoken about the Hacc I-70 just yet. We will later on. But this one comes with a micrometric enclosure system, or a ratchet, whereas this one has the double D, and you need the double D ring when it comes to racing. So the Agb K1 will be the better racing or track day helmet simply because it'll be allowed on the track, and the I-70 probably will not. All right. Let's see. Question from Jod. What does it cost? The Agb K1. You've missed it. Well, don't worry, Jod. You can always watch this back if you want. I'm not going to be mean though. I'll let you know. The K1 is going to cost about 180 euros for like the black design, for the basic kind of design. So 180 euros for the K1. All right. Alright guys, so what we'll do now is I think we'll move on to the I-70. It's a few questions for the K1. So if you want ask some questions about the I-70, we'll be talking about that. I'll take you through it. But remember, as well, we have the discounts code, guys. So you can use that. Go to championhelmets.com, pop that code in, and you get 10% off the already discounted prices for the Shark Skwal 2, the Agb K1, and the HJC I-70. And that is only going to be valid for about 24 hours from the start of the live stream, guys. So make sure if you want that, you got to get around it pretty quickly. But if you guys are joining us a little bit later, you're watching this back as you can on Facebook and YouTube. Don't worry, because I'll still be answering your questions, guys. So make sure if you have any questions, you want to say anything, put it into the chat and we'll talk about it. That's how it goes. All right, so let's move on now to the I-70. So the HJC I-70, it's going to be a, we'll put this over here actually, it's a little bit crowded. The HJC I-70, it is a touring cum sports helmet. It's really going to be good at a lot of different things. I call it really an all-rounder helmet. It's going to come in around 200 euros, so it's going to be perfectly on that entry-level kind of mark at 200 euros, and it's going to also have a polycarbonate shell. And polycarbonate, it's going to be still fairly strong and good material. It's going to be just typically heavier and a bit bulkier, and you can see the I-70, it's not a particularly slim helmet, but it is not particularly bulky either, so they've done a pretty good job with making this, and at least with designing it. So it's going to weigh in at 1,500 grams, this size M did, and that's a very good result. 1,500 grams for a polycarbonate all-rounded helmet, you know, I'll take that. So as well with the I-70, it's going to have a fairly good ventilation system. It's going to be a bit more fine-tuned to upright riding because it is going to be a bit more of a touring helmet. So we'll have a look here at the chin. You can see here on the chin, little slider. You can open and close that. You can see the vents here and here where this fluoro yellow color is. And that's going to bring air straight up onto your visor via these vents here. Let's close that up. On top, you can see we have at the very top, even a little bit back on the helmet, we have the top vents. You can open and close them with these, which is a nice feature. And it's, like I said, going to be a bit more suited towards that more touring position, that little bit more upright, but it's still going to pull in quite a lot of air. Then at the back, it's all going to escape through these little wings here. So ventilation is quite strong on the HJC I-70 as well. Coming to the visor, I do like the visor of the I-70 myself. Fairly easy to open and close. Prepared for an anti-fog pinlock lens, and the pinlock lens is actually in the box. So you do get that included with this helmet, which is, I think, a lovely feature. If we take a look here at the mechanism, you can see it does move around a bit, which helps to create a strong seal. So the I-70 does have a very good seal when it comes to an entry-level helmet. So I do as well like that. Then we'll go here because we have a drop-down sun visor. So you can see that, and we'll open it up again. So a little slider on the side, and then you can drop down that sun visor. And it's going to do wonderful things when it comes to blocking the sun. To the bottom, I showed you guys before with the micrometric enclosure system. You can see it as well here, made out of metal. It's going to be nice and easy to use, easy to take off, easy to put on. The shape of the helmet is going to be the intermediate oval as well, same as the K1. And it's also going to have a fairly comfortable liner. And the liner is actually going to be a cool liner. It's, what is it called? It's the super cool liner from HJC. So it's also going to be good like the K1s at keeping you cool, but it's also going to keep you fairly warm as well when you want it to because of this nice material. Then this helmet, the liner is going to be removable, it's going to be washable, and also antibacterially treated. You do also get speaker cutouts, so you can pop a speaker system into this helmet if you want to, which is cool. And remember, guys, if you want to do that, you can get a discount at championhelmets.com in the product bundles. You get pretty cool discounts on communication system for all of these helmets, actually. All right, when it comes down to it, the I-70, very strong all-rounded helmet. Yeah, it's, you know, I do quite like this one myself, if I'm honest. So I think that's about it for the I-70. We'll have a look at some of the questions, see what you guys have asked about it. So let's have a look here. Have a quick drink. Don't worry, Christopher, we'll be talking about the Shark Skwal 2 in a moment. See, another question for Gerald. The Agb K1 has no sun visor and no pin lock, but it is only 20 euros cheaper than the HJC I-70. Seems like the I-70 is much better in value, or am I missing something? No, you're not really missing anything. I'll bring the K1 back here for a sec. So yes, 180 euros, 200 euros, no sun visor, no pin lock, sun visor and pin lock. So the pin lock itself will cost you about 20 to 30 euros. So once you throw that in, you get a very even price, perhaps even a little bit more expensive with the K1, and it still doesn't have the sun visor. So the I-70 is a helmet that has tremendous value for an entry level, and that is one of the great things about it. So you're not missing anything. The I-70 is simply just full of value. So yeah, thanks for that. That's a good question. Question from Pete. Hi, how are these helmets entry-level helmets? I've seen helmets for 20 euros. Well, they're entry-level because these are quality brands. So you can get 20 euro helmets off of eBay or something like that. Often they're not going to be very good. They're not going to really function very well as helmets. Obviously, I can't say that about everything, but in general, these are high-quality brands, and we judge 200 euros to be entry-level because it's after that you start to get into the more mid-range and then higher prices, obviously, but also more expensive materials and so on. So these are entry-level. 200 euros for a quality helmet is definitely, in our opinion, going to be entry-level. So thanks for that. Good. Guys, I see there's a few more questions coming in, but don't worry, we'll get to them in a moment. We'll do another spin on the Champions Wheel. So guys, remember, if you want to go at the Champions Wheel, comment a question into the chat and we'll pick you guys out. Pick one of you guys out. We'll give it a spin and you can win some champion cash. So let's have a look. Let's go and pick out a question. I see here, Christopher. You know, Christopher will give you a chance at the Champions Wheel. All right, so good luck, Christopher. What we'll do here is give it a spin and you'll win some champion cash. So good luck to you. Hopefully get a big amount. Round and round she goes. Round and round she goes. And we are going to land on 200 euros. That's actually a very good result. Very close to the zero. I was a little bit worried there. Congratulations, Christopher. 200 euros of champion cash will coming your way. Christopher Langdale, so congratulations. We'll have someone from Champion Helmets get in contact with you again soon, and they'll make sure you get that champion cash, which you can spend in our online store on, say, the I-70 or the Shark if you want to. So congratulations. All right, let's go and have a look at some more of these questions. I see here from Roads, the I-70 doesn't have a safety rating from Sharp. Is that a problem? No, I don't think so at all. Sharp, this helmet just recently came out, and Sharp hasn't gotten around to testing it, I assume. But you know, it's got the ECE rating. The ECE rating is held to a pretty high standard. They have to go through quite a lot to reach that mark and get and be able to legally be sold in Europe. So it's going to be safe. Don't worry about that. And when the Sharp rating comes out, we'll see how that holds up later on. So I'm actually quite interested to see how Sharp rates the I-70 myself. All right. Congratulations, Christopher. Keep your comments coming, though. Love to hear from you again. Let's see. Question from Joris. Joris, I hope I said that right. Sorry if I'm not. Is the I-70 really that good? It doesn't seem to do anything special, I think. Doesn't seem to do anything special. Yep. Well, the thing is that it's just full of value. The K1, very good racing helmet. Shark Skwal 2 has these special LEDs, which we'll see in a moment. But the I-70 is just full of value. You know, it's got 200 euros, drop-down sun visor, pin lock in the box, and it feels very comfortable and does everything pretty well. So, you know, it's just an all-rounder. That's what I think is special about it. It's a good helmet full of value. Thanks for that question. Alright, so guys, I think we've answered a few questions on the i-70. I think we should move on to the Shark Skwal 2. Remember though, I am Chris. If you've just joined me, I'm the live store manager, so you can see me every week on Facebook and also on YouTube at 5 p.m. local Amsterdam time on Wednesdays. So make sure you come and join us for the live store. Drop by, drop a question in the chat, talk to us, and get a chance to have a go at the Champions Wheel, maybe win some champion cash. Alright guys, remember as well, we do have that discount code, which is 10% off the already discounted prices of these three helmets, the Agb K1, the Shark Skwal 2, and the Hacc I-70. So make sure you use that if you're interested, because it's only going to be valid for 24 hours. But if you've missed that, don't worry, because these helmets all come with 50% off of a second visor if you pick it up in the product bundle, or you can get a big discount on one of the communication systems that come with these helmets. Alright guys, so let's move on to the Shark Skwal 2. This helmet is going to be 240 euros. It's also going to be a polycarbonate shell. It does come in at a higher price typically than we set for entry-level helmets, but we felt it didn't really fit in as a mid-range helmet. It fits more into that entry-level category. And you can also pick it up with that discount code from us, and then it's definitely fit into the entry-level category. So polycarbonate shell came in at 1560 grams, so 1.56 kilos. And that's also in the medium the medium size. So overall, a pretty good weight as well from the Shark Skwal 2, at least with this helmet. Now, let's have a look here at the ventilation. Starting off at the chin, you do get this very kind of small and slight vent. So you can open that. It's not going to bring in a whole lot of air, but what air it does bring in is going to come here up onto the visor. So we'll go up to the top now. Top vent, big scoop, kind of same position you see on a lot of touring helmets. This is also going to be a touring cum sports helmet, guys. So you can open and close it with this slider up here. Easy to use, sticks out nicely, and yeah, it's going to let in a fair bit of air onto the top of your head. For that air to escape, we have right here a couple, well at least one vent, and that's where the air is going to all escape out the back there. And you might have seen these lights as well, guys. We'll get to that in a moment. To the front again, and we come to the visor. The visor has no cracked city position, sadly, but it is prepared for an anti-fog pinlock lens, and like the i-70, the pinlock lens is provided in the box with the helmets. Then on the side here, let me just open this up again. There it is. We have the drop-down sun visor, and you use it with this little toggle here. So it's quite an easy-to-use sun visor, and it drops down nice and easily, and also pretty far, actually. It goes even below this little breath guard. I'll keep it down, why not? So let's come to the bottom here, and you'll see we as well have an intermediate oval fit with the Shark Skwal 2, a micro ratchet enclosure system. Let me just open that up. There we go. It works like that, nice and easy. And the liner is going to be actually pretty cool. It's been treated with bamboo, which helps it to be more antibacterial and stuff like that. So that's nice. It's going to be removable, washable, and obviously antibacterial. So like the i-70, it's going to be a pretty comfortable liner, which is kind of catering more towards your tourists out there and those longer rides. You do as well get a little wind guard here, and it's actually mesh, so I'm not 100% sure it does a fully great job keeping wind out, but it does ventilate well, which is a nice little feature. Now you might have noticed this as well. This is a little charging cable, and this is for the special kind of feature of the Shark Skwal 2. So it has lights. You can see here, 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 and then underneath the wing here and here. And you might be asking how they work. Well, very, very simply, you just press on this little button here, and they come on. So you can have it in one of two kind of ways. You can have it like this, which is just straight on, or you can have it flashing as well. I'll show you at the back there. So it does flash underneath that wing. That's pretty cool with the Shark Skwal 2. It's definitely something that's going to help you stand out, both in terms of safety and in terms of, I guess, coolness because you know, your helmet lights up. So I do like that. It's a pretty cool system. During the day, it's not going to be the most visible light. Obviously, the light on your bike is going to be much stronger at all times. But during the night, it really does help you to stand out a lot more. So I do really appreciate that from Shark. It's a cool little safety thing. Anything that helps you stand out a bit more in the dark is, I think, a good feature. And with these lights, you get about 10 hours of battery life when it's flashing like this, and you get about 5 when it's just on like this. So a fairly good battery life, though I would take about 10% off, you know, just because of how things go and real world conditions, you might lose a little bit more. All right, so that's about it for the Shark Skwal 2, I believe. A good sports touring orientated helmet, sun visor, pin lock, €240. So overall, not a bad helmet. All right, let's have a look at these questions here. And have a look here. Jordan, I've already answered your question about how long those LEDs are going to last. It's going to be 10 hours while blinking and 5 hours while just on. So there we go. Let's have another look. All right, few questions in. Got a pretty good choice here, guys. So good work on that. Christopher, you've been impressed by Shark helmets? Your buddy's got one? Yeah, no, Shark's a pretty good brand. I recommend checking them out. They do make some pretty good kind of like value helmets. And, you know, the Racer Pro GP in the really high end is also a pretty good premium racing helmet as well. So Shark is a pretty good manufacturer. Let's have a look here. Another question from Brian. Just out of curiosity, which one do you prefer, the Shark or the HJC? Personally, I like the HJC I-70. It's going to come in a little bit lower in terms of price. Cool features, does a lot of cool stuff, slightly lighter. I think the noise isolation is better. You get a slightly better seal on the visor. I just think that a lot is really good, and there's a lot to love with the I-70. Not to say the Shark Skwal 2 has, that's missing stuff, but overall, I do prefer my I-70. But yeah, the Shark Skwal 2, also a good helmet. Thanks for the question there. I see we have here a question from... Alright, Joel, I've just seen your question pop in, which is simply the best helmet. I have to take that one, because this kind of flows on from the last question. Well, simply the best helmet is going to be very personal. Personally, I do like the I-70, as you guys might have guessed from what I've just said before. But for racing or anything like that, I'll take the K1, simply because, you know, it's a little bit more geared towards racing and sports riding. But yeah, the I-70 is more my style. So that's my opinion on that. Thanks for the question. Hi, Fiji. I saw you at the start of the live store. I think you were one of the first commenters even. So tell you what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a chance on the Champions Wheel. So Fiji, let's have a go here. You can have a chance at winning some Champions cash. We'll give it a spin for you here. Good luck. Champion cash you can spend in store at championhelmets.com on something like Shark Skwal 2 if you wanted to. So good luck. Hopefully get a good result here. 0 is gone. That's always good. Wow, very good result actually. €200 worth of champion cash. Congratulations, BG. Wow, €200, nice. So we'll get someone from Champion Helmets. They'll get in contact with you soon. We'll get your details and we'll make sure that you get that champion cash. €200. Congratulations to you, Fiji. And I'll answer your question now. Which helmet? Which of these helmets is the most comfortable? Great question. And I take the I-70. Personally, I do like it because it has that good ventilation, a little bit more noise isolation, and I do like the liner, so I think it's the most comfortable. Shark, not bad. The K1 is a little bit bare bones, but still does a pretty good job, and it's also still fairly comfortable, especially when you're doing a little bit more intense riding. Cool question there. Pineapple Man. Interesting name, I quite like it. Alright, Pineapple Man, I saw in your review that the Skwal has some bad qualities. Why do you still recommend it? That's actually a very fair question. So with the Skwal, in the review, what we did was I took the liner out, looked underneath everything, and I found that it had some issues with bad glue quality, like the glue just really came off. And a few kind of like, yeah, messy pieces every now and then throughout the helmet. Now, it wasn't something that really breaks the helmet. It's not something that means it's a bad helmet. It just means that Shark has not put all those proper finishing touches in the areas that you don't see. So I still recommend it because it is still a good helmet. It's still going to do everything right. It's just that, yeah, in terms of finishing quality, they really could have done a little bit more at Shark. Very fair question, though. Let's have a look here again. You're welcome, Fiji. I hope you get something good with our champion cash. Let's have another look here. Alright, so let's take this one here from Joe again. Joe dropping lots of questions. Thanks for that. Appreciate it, guys. Remember to drop your questions as well. You can win some champion cash. And also, we can just talk about stuff. Alright, so let's have a look at Joe's question. What is better, double or micro ratchet? I think you mean the double D ring, Jod. So let's have a look at that. With the micro ratchet here on the Shark. We have the double D ring, of course, on the Agv. And when it comes down to it, they're both pretty similar. The Agv comes with that obviously double D ring, so it's going to be usable on a track in most cases, whereas the Shark Skwal won't. And the double D ring is kind of like the tried and true method that has been around for ages, that people know. It's a very simple system. It's just that it can be a little bit fiddly to put on and take off. Though that is why some people prefer the micrometric or the closure system on the Shark, because it's simply easy to use. You just put it in or you pull it out, one of two ways. So that's about that. Pineapple Man, another question here. How much do the lights in the Skwal help me stand out? I mentioned that before, but don't worry, I'll do it again. It's going to be 5 hours when it's in this mode, which is like the lights just on, and it's going to be 10 hours when it's blinking like this, so you get about double the life. Obviously, guys, give or take. I would probably take a little bit more than I would give in most cases, though. Alright, so guys, let's have another look here. First of all, I'll remind you of that discount code. So the discount code, I see it's in the chat. It's a pinned comment, guys, so make sure you use that. It's going to give you 10% off the already discounted prices of these 3 helmets. Not just in these designs, in all the designs as well. So make sure you check that out. Plus, on these helmets, you do get a 50% discount in a product bundle for a secondary visor. So make sure you check that out as well. And you do as well, guys, get a discount on a communication system. And speaking of communication system, guys, I just remembered that the Shark Skwal 2 here does have preparation for a communication system. It has cutouts on the inside of the speakers, but also cutout in the back where you can fit in the Shark Tooth system, which is like Shark's own take at a communication system. But you can also fit in a lot of other systems as well. It's just got that special cutout. So yes, you can put a communication system into that. I just remembered. Another question here, is 2 shell sizes good or bad? 2 shell sizes, typically not the best option. Typically you want to have more because it gives you better range of options when you're looking for helmets, and so you can get the smallest kind of like weight on your head, the least amount of weight, but also the most compact helmet you can. But 2 shell sizes is also something that really helps to keep manufacturing costs down, which also helps then to keep these helmets in that entry level, whereas you'll see a lot more mid-range and premium level helmets will have more options when it comes to shell sizes. So I think the PC GPR, for example, comes in I think 4 shell sizes, which is quite a lot. But again, that's like a €1,000 helmet, so there's a difference there. Let's have a look here at the questions, guys. Have a look. Let's have a look. A few questions around here. Got to pick one. From Martine, isn't the Skwal too expensive? Oh, that one just disappeared. Alright, isn't the Skwal too expensive to be an entry-level helmet? Technically, yes, it does go above that 200 range that we set for entry-level helmets. But, you know, you can use that discount code and it's going to bring that price down. So I think it is fair to call it an entry-level helmet. Only just, guys, but it does have like the features and stuff like that of an entry-level helmet. It's definitely not going to be fair to call it a mid-range helmet. So yes, it is technically a little bit too expensive, but I mean, we can push that a little bit. It does make more sense as an entry level. Thanks for the question. Roids, I-70 seems like the better here to me. Thanks for all the info given today, Chris. Remains an amazing and definitely helpful concept. Cool, no problem. Yeah, I like the I-70 a lot. It's a great all-rounder. It's got a bunch of cool features to it. Okay, another question here from Brian. We'll have a look. Chris, sorry to bother you again, but I completely missed the K1 hasn't got a pin lock. No, yeah, so the K1 does not come with a pin lock lens. It is prepared for one. These two do come with a pin lock lens in the box. K1 doesn't. Pin lock lens will cost, it's going to run you about 20 or 30 euros by itself. So that is something that you have to add on to the price of the K1 if you want to get it. So do keep that in mind. All right, Pineapple Man, cool name. Another question coming in. Which of the three would you recommend if I tour a lot? If you're touring a lot, I would not recommend the K1 simply because it's more sporty, not going to be as comfortable over time. I would happily recommend either the Shark Skwal 2 or the HJC I-70. Personally, I'm a fan of the I-70, so I recommend that. But the Shark Skwal 2 also great for touring. Drop-down sun visor, anti-fog, pin-lock lens, a decent ventilation overall as well. So these two I would recommend for touring. They do a pretty fantastic job at it. All right. So I have another look at the questions here, guys. Keep those questions coming. And remember as well, guys, you can catch us every Wednesday at 5 p.m. local Amsterdam time. Live stores are open for about half an hour, so make sure you drop by. And afterwards as well, if you've missed us, if we're finished with the live store, we've closed up, don't worry, because you can leave your comments when you're watching this back or anything like that. And that way you'll be able to talk to me, and I'll still talk to you guys as well. So I'll be answering your comments afterwards. All right, let's have a look here. Brian, yeah, it is a bit of a shame that you don't get a pin lock with the K1. All right, guys, so I think that's going to just about do it for the live store this week with the top, with our best entry-level helmets here. It was great. We had some good winners with the Champions Wheel action. So make sure you join us next week. Have another chance at the Champions Wheel. See some more stuff. Next week, we're going to be doing the best sports come racing boots. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I can have some pretty good gear on next week as well. Sports racing boots for next week. All right, guys. I'm Chris. I'm the Lifestyle Manager. You can join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. local Amsterdam time on YouTube and on Facebook. Don't forget you can watch this back on YouTube and Facebook as well, guys. All right, so it's been a lot of fun. Guys, I think I'm going to just have to catch you all next week. And yeah, I'll see you all then.
Alright guys, coming in. At the live store, you'll be able to join us in our physical shop in the Netherlands during our opening hours. You get to see live presentations of your favorite gear with me, your store manager, and you get to ask me questions in real time and get real-time answers back. At the live store, we're open every Wednesday at 5 p.m. local Amsterdam time, and when we're live, you get the best prices guaranteed on the products that we're showing. You can find out more at championhelms.com/livestore.